Hello and welcome to Political Bazaar. Today we'll be speaking about the violence that has been seen in West Bengal yesterday and the days before that. To discuss this and more with me, I have Gaurav Choudhury, the Deputy Executive Editor. Thank you very much for coming on Political Bazaar. Gaurav, yesterday and the day before, we've seen widespread violence in West Bengal, especially in and around Kolkata. On Sunday, May 19th, Kolkata will be having its last phase. India will be having its last phase, the 7th one. Kolkata, West Bengal, 9 seats are going to the polls. What do you make
So
of
most of these seats are in and around Kolkata. Essentially, these are the most urban centers or most urban constituencies in West Bengal that they're going to vote. And BJP clearly has expended a lot of political capital in gaining ground in these constituents, in these areas, and they're hoping to do quite well here. At least by what they're trying to, create a narrative that they are within striking distance of actually getting a lot of seats in these constituencies. But that is something that we'll get to know only on the 23rd. But in the run-up, and there was a massive roadshow that was being organized by the BJP President Amit Shah, and this is where the violence took place. And it took place in College Street, which is the intellectual hub of Kolkata, where the main colleges and the university is located. And then during the course of the roadshow, violence erupted, and so there were supporters from both the TMC and BJP that got into a clash, and that it kind of went out of hand. And then during the as part of the roadshow, during the course of the roadshow, you come across Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar College. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, if you recall, is one of the biggest intellectual giants of West Bengal. Probably in terms of stature, he's only second to probably Rabindranath Tagore, and he has great respect among anybody who has anything related to West Bengal. There were people who entered the college campus, and his bust, which lies inside the campus, was actually ripped apart and broken and smashed. Now, following that, there has, and Amit Shah, his supporters said that the party president almost got hurt and he had to escape, and it was kind of a miraculous escape. In the press conference after the incident, he did say that, but the TMC is saying that this is the handiwork of the BJP supporters who were brought in from outside, and clearly they were the people, according to TMC, who brought down the bust were not from Bengal, because anybody who's remotely related to Bengal cannot even if, regardless of whichever party they support, cannot be showing so much of disrespect to such a giant, cultural and intellectual giant of West Bengal. The BJP is saying that it is the handiwork of the TMC, and it kind of shows a nervousness in their camp because of the strength of the BJP's roadshow, which they did not expect to, where people turned up in very large numbers.
The argument that nervousness is shown by the TMC or the BJP is an allegation which either side puts about the other. Of the 7 phases Bengal has been going, it's a 7-phase poll in Bengal. 6 have got over. 33 seats in 6 phases have got over. Across these 6 phases, West Bengal has witnessed violence.
Yes.
It is not. Do you think this time it has gone a bit out of hand?
Oh, absolutely. Otherwise, the EC would not, the Election Commission would not have taken that unprecedented decision of actually, curtailing the campaigning and bringing it down, by one day, 24 hours, and then also, transferring to officials with immediate effect, and these 2 officials are believed to be close to the TMC establishment in West Bengal. But one thing that remains unanswered here is that since phase 1 on April 11, when elections started in West Bengal, and until the last phase, the 6th phase, each of these phases have been marred by violence. Why did the Election Commission wait until yesterday, or this day before yesterday evening, for this kind of an incident to take place, and then crack the whip or take some kind of an action? What were the observers doing? I'm sure the observers would have sent in the reports about the violence that have taken place over the last 6 phases. What were the content of this observers' report, and what did the observers recommend or say in their reports is something that remains unanswered. The Election Commission should have been seen taking some action.
While we are talking about the Election Commission's action of curtailing campaign by 24 hours has come under severe criticism. The opposition is saying that this is to favor the BJP
Yes.
and actually gives an unfair advantage because the Friday campaigns that Mamata had planned in and around Kolkata is actually not going to happen now. They have to shift it. While that is there, I should also ask you this one: what is your opinion? Because initially, state forces were there to on polling days, and that came under criticism. From the fifth phase, central forces have been there at polling stations. Despite that, there has been violence. So you think the election commission's role, it has not really taken the crisis, if I can put it like that, in West Bengal seriously?
It could be partly true, but the role of the central paramilitary forces or central security forces is actually limited to the polling day. Not during the campaigning, and this incident happened during the campaigning, and this was this roadshow was kind of a show of strength by Amit Shah and his supporters, by the BJP and its supporters, that we have arrived kind of a statement that they wanted to make before the people of West Bengal as well, also show the TMC brass that BJP is not just a challenger; it is here to actually oust the TMC regime in the elections. So that got a little out of hand for the Kolkata police. This is something that they should be a little regretful of, because this is something that was well controllable. Road shows keep on happening, has been happening during the course of these elections and previous elections as well, and we have seen this happening across all states. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday, speaking to our network, made a very important point. He said that the polling in J&K has been far more peaceful and violence-free in West Bengal, and that is something that needs than West Bengal. So that is something that needs to be taken seriously, because evidence over the last 6 phases show that violence has been a consistent factor in West Bengal, and that is something that the blame has to be, that has to be apportioned by somebody, whether it's the Kolkata police, whether it's the Mamata Banerjee-led government, or whether it's central paramilitary forces, or whether it is EC's, it's a failure on the EC's part. The blame has to be fixed.
A bit more weightage is actually given when you actually listen to the press conference. Yesterday there was a series of press conferences. The BJP held, TMC held, Mamata Banerjee held, Amit Shah held. In Amit Shah's press conference, he actually made an interesting point. He said that, why is it only in Bengal? If you're actually putting the blame on BJP, BJP is contesting in many other states. Violence is not seen there, it's only in West Bengal. So there is something particular in West Bengal, and he said that TMC is only in West Bengal. Yes. Now let me just, ahead of that, the opposition parties have come together. Many are supporting Mamata Banerjee, and they are telling that BJP has got an unfair advantage of this. Do you think this is all playing into the Mahagathbandhan versus BJP NDA?
It is eventually. See what it needs to. What's going to be interesting to see the kind of influence this incident has on which way the votes swing, and whether this is going to be a big swing factor, because the voter constituency in these 9 seats are an extremely educated constituency. Now, what happens in the last week of campaigning is that it only influences the fence sitters, more largely influences the fence sitters. Whether this kind of an incident actually is going to influence the fence sitters either way, what do the voters think about who carried this out? And is it the BJP? Do the voters think that it was the BJP's handiwork, or do the voters think it was the TMC's handiwork? That is going to be interesting to see, because that is one factor that is going to influence the fence sitters, and that could well be the deciding factor.
On Sunday, May 19th, 59 seats go to the polls, of which 9 are in West Bengal, largely urban, semi-urban seats. It'll be interesting to see whether the last-minute campaign, the developments that have been happening over the past 48 hours and in the days ahead, will actually influence the fence sitters. Is there a swing factor? This has to be seen. Stay tuned to Moneycontrol for more news and updates.